integration. So earlier, vector differentiation, and obviously later on in the same module we are going to see the integration also. Like we have once the derivative for the function exists, its inverse function also exists. You can see here that for a function like e raised to x or any polynomial function, if I take y equal to x square, what is its derivative dy by dx? We can calculate it as what? 2x. 2x. So its integration also exists. So what is integral of 2x dx? You can see that it is what? That is x square to x square by 2. That means I'll get back this original function x square. Original function x square. So it is integrable also. So earlier you have seen the derivatives. If I just take for the function just not having the direction, correct? They are having the magnitude kind of thing. There is no Isaac term here, correct? So how you define any vector? So any vector we can define it as vector is what? Vector is having the magnitude as well as direction. Correct? So any vector we write it down as v bar. Okay, so bar means it is a vector. So here also it is case sensitive kind of thing. So v bar, this is the vector which along with you are talking about in 3-dimensional space, this vector. So in 3-dimensional space you can write it down this vector as a1 times I bar plus b1 times j bar plus c1 times k bar. Where what are these Isaacs? So if suppose I have this 3-dimensional plane, 3-dimensional space, this is the axis, positive axis. So this is your positive x-axis, positive y-axis and positive z-axis. This is your origin. Okay. Now along this x-axis, the unit vector, we call it as I bar. Along this y-axis, the unit vector along this y-axis is called as j bar. Along z-axis, we call it as k bar. Correct. So this way, we are just writing this as a1 bar means what? It is somewhere you are just locating that particular point a1 0 0. Correct. a1 0 0. So a1 times along x-axis, so it will be I bar. Along z-axis, along this y-axis, the magnitude is going to be v1. Correct. For that y-axis and so on. So we are going to study for 3-dimensional space, the entire differentiation. So we haven't seen earlier how to take a derivative of a vector, correct? We know how to take a derivative of x square y. We know how to take a derivative of if it contains 3 functions at a time. Then you can take what? Partial derivatives and so on. But here what we are going to see is how to differentiate a vector. So that we are going to see in this case. So now earlier in case of I think velocity and acceleration, you have come across such type of vectors where it was a function of only one variable, that the time variable, correct? And then you just take that derivative of that particular vector and calculate it. So that will be the velocity. You can calculate the magnitude of that. That is nothing but the actual velocity, correct? And the acceleration. Yes, with the direction you can find it out just by keeping that Isaac components as it is. So here what we'll do is we first of all just do the basic part of the vectors and then we'll go ahead. So we can define the vector like this. So earlier we have seen how to take the addition of 2 vectors, correct? How to take the subtraction of 2 vectors. Then how to multiply the 2 vectors. So either we have, this is called as a dot product, or we have the cross product, correct? This way we are defining the operations. So which operations are valid in a vector? So you can say that addition, subtraction and the product. Where the product we are defining it as either it is dot or it is cross product. This way we are defining this set of, it will give you again the vectors only, correct? So therefore we can say that this is the structure which defines the set of operations as plus, minus and dot and cross. But whether you can divide any two vectors, answer is no. Correct. So you can't divide any two vectors. That is not possible. So that operation is not defined in case of vectors. Now, how to add the two vectors? So we just start with the basic concepts and then we'll go ahead. So here what I have is, suppose I just consider the vector as say a bar. A bar is say a1 I bar plus a2 z bar plus a3 k bar. This is my three-dimensional vector. And b bar is say b1 I bar plus b2 z bar plus b3 k bar. Correct. These are the two set of vectors. These are the two set of vectors. Then in that case, how you define the addition of these two vectors? So a bar plus b bar. A bar plus b bar means you can have the component wise addition. So component, that is I component. What is the I component here? A1. Here the I component is V1. So you just add this component. So this is what? A1 plus B1 times I bar. Then what I'll get? Coefficient of z bar. You just add it. So a2 plus b2 times z bar. Then we'll take a3 plus b3 times k bar. Correct? Times k bar. Now how you will take the subtraction of these two vectors? So a bar minus b bar. A bar minus b bar means component wise you have to subtract it. So in place of plus we'll have the minus sign in this case. So we get this as a1 minus b1 times I bar plus a2 minus b2 times a bar plus a3 minus b3 times k bar. Now we have to define the product of two vectors. Correct? Product of two vectors. How you define the product of two vectors? So either we can say that the dot product. Okay, so the first one is dot product. Dot product. So dot product between the two vectors, by definition, it is defined as a bar dot b bar. Now see, purposely I am writing this dot as a bold dot. Okay, so you just make a small circle and shade it. Okay, make it dark circle between the two things. Don't just put like this the pen, the way you are just putting the pen on the paper. So don't consider this as a dot. Okay, so here it is what it is. A bar dot b bar, a bar dot b bar. So it is defined as mod of a bar into mod of b bar cos of theta. Correct. The definition is what? Mod a bar into mod b bar into cosine of angle between these two. Cosine of angle between these two. Correct. So it is mod a bar into mod b bar into cosine of theta. Cosine of theta. So here you can see that how you calculate the magnitude of a bar. See, if I have a bar is like this, how you calculate the magnitude of a bar? Mod of a bar is under root. You have to take component wise squares and take the summation. So it is what? A1 square plus A2 square plus A3 square. If you remember this, correct? What we are doing, we are just taking the squares of each component and take the sum. Take the sum. So that is your mod of a bar. Similarly, what is mod b bar? It is going to be under root b1 square plus b2 square plus b3 square. And what is theta? Theta is nothing but the angle between these two vectors. So if I have, this is my a bar and this vector is your b bar, then this angle is your theta. Correct? Angle between these two is going to be theta. So that is the definition of these two vectors. So what will be by using this? So I have a bar dot b bar. So I just take the component wise this a bar dot b bar. I write it here. Okay, I write it here. So how you write it down this a bar dot b bar as this is nothing but a1 I bar plus a2 z bar plus a3 k bar dot. We have b1 I bar plus b2 z bar plus b3 k bar. Correct? Take the dot product between these two. So now dot product between these two means how you will calculate this. So we can calculate as the way we solve any equation. Correct? You are preserving the operation as it is. So I just write it down this as a1 I bar, okay, dot, okay, dot the entire second bracket, that is b1 I bar plus b2 j bar plus b3 k bar, correct? Plus what I'll do is I take the next term is what? Next component in this case is b2 j bar, that is a2 j bar, and then you take a dot between these two and then you write it down the same term, correct? This term you have to take it down. Similarly, I'll write it down a3k bar, then we'll preserve that dot operation and we just write it down b1 I bar plus b2 j bar plus b3k bar, correct? So it is like we have this vectors, we have in three-dimensional plane this vectors x, y and z. Here along this it is I bar, here it is j bar, here it is k bar. So if you just take, you can take the dot product between the two vectors only. What are these a1 and b1? They are the scalar values, correct? So you can take those values outside. So what will be the first component? I'll just write it down on the first bracket, okay? Splitting up the first bracket, then you will understand the second one. So it is like a1 b1 times I bar dot I bar, correct? I bar dot I bar. Then a1 b2. Next term is what? a1 b2 times I bar dot j bar, correct? Then we have that is a1 times b3, I bar dot k bar, This is for the first bracket when you open it. Similarly, you can write it down the next one. Now, what will be your I bar dot I bar? Okay, what is your I bar dot I bar here? So we have to calculate it by using our definition, correct? We have to calculate it by using our definition. So what is our definition says? That is a bar dot b bar. This is our definition. Mod of a bar into mod b bar into cos of theta, correct? Here I have to calculate I bar dot I bar. What is I bar dot I bar? Magnitude of I bar into magnitude of, that is I bar, into what is the angle here? Cos of. Now you can see that you are taking I bar dot I bar means x-axis only, and see both the vectors are overlapping here, correct? So the angle is what? 0. So I have here 0, cos 0. And what is I bar? Magnitude of I bar means it is under root 1, correct? Here also it is under root of 1, and cos 0 is what? 1. So what I am getting this as, that is 1. So you will have that I bar dot I bar as what? 1, correct? I bar dot I bar as 1. Now what will be the next term? That is I bar dot j bar, correct? I bar dot j bar. So what I'll get? Mod of I bar into mod j bar into cos of, what is the angle? I with j, that is angle between x and y axis is what? 90 degrees. So we get cos 90 here. And what is cos 90? 0. So the entire term goes to 0. Correct? Entire term in this case is goes to 0. Yes? Now you can see here that I bar dot j bar is what? That is going to be 0. Similarly, I can have I bar dot k bar, that is also 0, because you can see here I bar with k bar. The angle between these two axes is what? 90 degrees. So cos 90 is going to be 0, correct? So similar thing, you can see that when I just multiply a2 j bar with this entire term, we get j bar dot j bar is 1, but j bar dot I bar, j bar dot k bar is going to be 0. In this case, k bar dot k bar will be 1. With other vectors, it is going to be 0. So what term you will get from this all the things? So you can see that this is nothing but I have a1 with b1. So this is a1 b1. Then j bar component is what here? b2. So b2 j bar into a2 j bar with dot product. So we get a2 b2. And third term, if you just go for this, it is a3 times b3, correct? a3 b3. So what we have to do in dot product, we have to just take the component wise multiplication, correct? Component wise multiplication. Now you can see how it is. So it is like, we just write it down again. So this was the explanation. So we write it down directly. That is a bar dot b bar is nothing but a1 I bar plus a2 j bar plus a3 k bar dot b1 I bar plus B2's A bar plus B3 K bar, correct? So you can see that you have to just multiply component wise. So A1 times B1. So A1 B1, then A2 with B2. So A2 B2 and A3 B3. This will be the answer. Okay. This way you can calculate the dot product. This way you can calculate the dot product in this case. Okay. Now we have to see another product, and that product is what? Cross product. That product is cross product. So the definition of the cross product, we are just revising these things because we require it later on. So cross product is A bar cross B bar. How you define it? It is mod of A bar into mod B bar n cap sin theta. Where what is n cap? N cap is the normal to A bar and B bar. Normal vector to A bar and B bar. So suppose I have in this plane, we have defined this A bar and B bar. This is my A bar. This is my B bar. Okay. Then this is your angle. Correct. Theta made by this. So what is your n cap? N cap is going to be normal to this. Okay, normal to this A bar and B bar. That is going to be your n cap. So here we are getting the cross product between the two vectors as A bar, magnitude of A bar into magnitude of B bar into n cap sin theta. So here the orientation wise it is very important that I bar cross I bar. Now what is I bar cross I bar? You can see here I bar cross I bar means the angle is 0. So you get that value as 0. But I bar cross J bar is going to be oriented positive. Sin 90 is 1. So that way you can find it out the value. Correct? That way you can find it out the value. But mathematically, you can solve these problems with the help of the determinant method. So A bar cross B bar, how you write it down in the determinant way. So first of all, you write it down the components I bar, J bar and K bar. Now you write the components of A bar, IJK components of A bar. What are the IJK components of A bar? A1, A2 and A3. So I just write it down here. A1, A2 and A3. Now here what we'll do, we'll write the components of B bar, that is B1, B2 and B3. B1, B2 and B3. Correct. B1, B2 and B3. Okay. Now, in this case, we can find it out the determinant of this, find the determinant of this, and that way you can calculate the cross product. So, what is my cross product in this case? A bar cross B bar. We'll calculate the determinant. I bar times, delete this row and column. So, A2 B3 minus A3 B2. Correct. Second is always negative, minus J bar. Delete this column and row. What is remaining? A1, B1 and A3, B3. So A1, B3 minus A3, B1. And third what? Plus we have K bar times, delete this column and row. So we have A1, B2 minus A2, B1. Correct? A2, B1. So this way you can calculate this cross product of the two vectors. You can calculate the cross product of two vectors. Then we have seen earlier one more product and the properties of this, that is the very important property is A bar dot B bar is same as B bar dot A bar. We call it as commutative. Okay. So it is always commutative because what will get A1 B1 can be written as B1 A1, doesn't matter, correct? So order is not important. In case of if you see this scalar, this dot product, okay? But if you take this one, that is A bar cross B bar, it is not equal to B bar cross A bar. Why? You can see here that just do it mathematically. In determinant, if you interchange the two rows, the minus sign come out, correct? That is the property. Or you can see there we are using what? Clockwise and anti-clockwise orientation, and because of that you will get a negative sign, correct? So therefore A bar cross B bar is minus of B bar cross A bar, correct? So here A bar cross B bar is equal to minus of B bar cross A bar. Minus of B bar cross A bar. But they are not commutative. Correct? They are not commutative. So this is very important property. This is very important property. Now we'll go ahead with the next type of product, which is called as a box product. I think you have seen that earlier. So the third one is box product, or we call it as scalar triple product also. Scalar triple product. Okay. So earlier you have seen the examples in 12th, or those who are doing diploma, they have also come across such kind of questions, because you have seen there two-dimensional vectors. Okay, earlier you have seen in your syllabus two-dimensional vectors, where you have to show that the three vectors are coplanar. Correct? How you show that the three vectors are coplanar? You have to just find it out the box product, or you have to find it out the scalar triple product, and if that scalar triple product is equal to 0, you say that it is coplanar. Correct? So the scalar triple product, we just write it down. Suppose A bar, B bar and C bar are the three vectors. We just write it like this in box, that is in closed bracket. You have to write A bar, B bar and C bar. Now how you define this? It is what? A bar dot B bar cross C bar. Actually the scalar triple product, we write it as what? A bar dot B bar cross C bar. A bar dot B bar cross C bar. And mathematically how you solve this? So for this, suppose I have, where we just write it down here, A bar we write it as A1I bar plus A2's A bar plus A3K bar. For your understanding, B bar can be written as B1I bar plus B2's A bar plus B3K bar, and I just take C bar here. Okay, C3K bar. Then how you do this scalar box product? Mathematically, you can see that we just write it down in the first row, the components, IJK components of A bar. Then you write it down the IJK components of B bar, and you write it down the IJK components of C bar. Correct? And now you calculate this determinant, and that will give you the box product. That will give you the box product. Okay. So here you can see that B bar cross C bar is what? A vector. You get a vector and then take a dot product with this. So you will get a scalar quantity there. Right? Scalar quantity there. So everyone knows how to calculate this 3 by 3 determinant. 3 by 3 determinant. Okay. Now what we'll do is we'll just go for the next type of properties. So if suppose I have the vector, say if you just consider that a particle is moving along this curve. Okay, this is your particle. The particle P is moving along this curve. So the curve is represented as R bar is given as, say, T square I bar plus 2T Z bar plus e raised to tk bar. Okay, this is your R bar. Now you can see here that what is more special, that the components of IJK, they are written in terms of only T. Correct? They are in terms of T. So it is T square, then 2T, then e raised to T. That means they are the functions of T. Okay. So if this T is the time variable, once you say that the particle is moving along this curve, where the curve is represented like this, that means this is your XYZ. Okay. How you write this point XYZ here? The point XYZ, X is what? It is T square. Y is what? 2T. And Z in this case is e raised to T. Correct? In parametric form. Yes, that is represented in terms of T. And if this T is the time variable, then what is the derivative? The derivative of this with respect to T will represent a velocity. Correct? It will represent a velocity. And how you calculate this, since it is a function of only one variable, so there will be ordinary derivative. So what is ordinary derivative? How we write this? So dr bar by dt, I can write it down this as, just take the derivative of this T square. Correct? What is the derivative of t square? 2t. And keep this component as it is. Correct? Then what is the derivative of this? That is 2. So it is times z bar. What is the derivative of this? It is e raised to t times k bar. Correct. So this represents the velocity. Velocity of a particle along any point. Correct. At any point you can say. At any point t. So if I just specially mention that t equal to 0, you now want to calculate the velocity at t equal to 0 times 0. Then in that case what I have to do is I have to just substitute this in this, the t is equal to 0. Correct. So velocity at t equal to 0, how you calculate this? So you just take dr bar by dt, put here t as 0. When I put t as 0, I am getting 0 times I bar. So there is no need to write it down. Then we get 2z bar. E raised to 0 is what? 1. So we get this velocity. Correct. 2I bar plus 2z bar plus k bar. Yes. So magnitude of this is what? It is going to be 4 plus 1, under root 4 plus 1, that is root 5. Root 5. So this per whatever it is per second, that will be, or the time variable, depending on that you will define this velocity. Correct. Similarly, if you just differentiate it again, differentiate with respect to t again. So what I'll get this as d2 r bar by dt square. In this case, it will represent what? Acceleration. Correct? Acceleration. I think everyone knows this. So we'll get the acceleration here. And what is that value? That value is, take a derivative of this again. So we get 2I bar. Now the derivative of constant term is 0. So we get e raised to t times k bar. And again you can calculate that value at t equal to 0 and you can find it out the acceleration. Correct. So this way you can see here it is very easy if I have a vector which is given represented in terms of only one variable. I think such type of things you have done it in your physics. Correct. So now we'll see the properties of this if we are considering the vectors in terms of only one variable. So the first set of results. So if u bar of t, v bar of t and w bar of t be any three vectors, then the first one is, can I take the derivative of the addition of two things? Because see, earlier we have defined such type of properties in case of differentiation, that is ordinary derivative. So same thing we'll see it here, that is where we have seen d dx of f plus g or u plus v is du by dx plus dv by dx. So same thing we'll try it here. So in place of f and g we have now two vectors, so u bar plus v bar. So whether it satisfies the same properties or not. So what we'll get this as, this is nothing but your du bar by dt plus dv bar by dt. So instead of taking the addition, what I can say that you separately find it out the derivatives and then you take the sum. That is nothing but you just take earlier the sum of the two vectors and then you take the derivative. It is one and the same thing. Okay, it is one and the same thing. The another property which we have, that is d dt of subtraction. Okay, so I just write it here only. So u bar minus v bar. So for this the middle sign will be minus. Correct. So addition and subtraction is over. Now what we'll do is we take the dot product. Correct. Product of two vectors. So either is dot or the third property will be what? It will be cross. So u bar cross v bar. Correct. So for dot product d dt of u bar dot v bar, how you can find it out that? So you just take the way we have written the dot product of the product rule earlier for the ordinary derivatives. Okay, see what is the dot product here? Dot product is nothing but a scalar quantity. Again, it will be written in terms of product of two functions of t. So what I have to do is I have to use product rule separately for each term. So same thing we'll do it here. So what I'll do is I just represent it in terms of your vector product rule. So it is what d dt of u bar dot v bar. So general product rule is what? Take the derivative of first, preserve the operation as it is, keep the second vector as it is. So here it is what du bar by dt dot v bar plus u bar dot we have dv bar by dt. Now you can prove this also taking any general vector and try to prove this. So you just take the left hand side, find it out this, and you'll be able to write it down the dot product of these two terms. Correct. So take out v bar common, take out u bar common, write it in terms of dot again. Now same thing we'll do it for the cross product. So here for cross product also we have to preserve the order, and in this case you have to preserve the orientation too. Now for this, if I write this du bar by dt dot v bar as v bar dot du bar by dt doesn't matter because it is commutative. But we have seen that u bar cross v bar is not equal to v bar cross u bar. So here along with preserving the operation to preserve the sequence of the vector as it is. Okay. So it will be what? It is going to be du bar by dt cross v bar plus we are getting u bar cross dv bar by dt. dv bar by dt. So this is for the cross product. Now similarly we can see it for the scalar triple product which we have seen just now. That is fourth result is what? d dt of if I have u bar dot v bar cross w bar. Correct. If three vectors are there, u bar dot v bar cross w bar. So this can be written as, again you have to preserve this dot and cross wherever it is as it is. And what we'll do is we'll use the product rule. Correct. So we'll take the derivative of the first one. Then dot with v bar cross w bar. Plus now what I'll do is I take a derivative of this keeping first and third constant and keep this operations as it is. So it will be what? U bar dot, it will be dv bar by dt cross w bar, correct? Plus the next term I just write it here. So next we can write it down as, we can write it down this as, the third will be, we'll take the derivative of third and we'll keep these two things as it is. So it is u bar dot v bar cross dw bar by dt. Okay, so this is our fourth result. This is our fourth result. Now we'll go ahead, we take the next result. So the fifth one, I think everyone is taking down also. So if I just have a constant, correct, if I have a constant, so d dt of some constant times u bar. So see, you can take out that constant outside and you take a derivative of this term. So where, what is k? K is some constant, correct? K is some constant. So if you have this, then k times u bar, you can take out that k outside and then you can write it down this as du bar by dt. Take the derivative of that particular vector. Okay. Now the next one is, if I say some scalar function, it is multiplied by the vector. Okay. So for example, if I have say u bar is say t square I bar plus e raised to t z bar. Okay, I'm taking only two-dimensional vector, and suppose the scalar function s, I'm writing it as say sin t. Okay, this is my scalar function. Now what is your u bar? S into u bar. See, there is no dot here because it is what? These are not two vectors. Please understand this. One is scalar and the other one is vector function. So there won't be any dot or cross. How you define dot or cross? It is always in between the two vectors. Okay. So don't put unnecessary in between this dot or cross. Okay. So that you have to remember here. So it is what? Scalar with vector. So see, you can see that sin t will get multiplied each component. So it is nothing but like this, sin t into t square I bar plus e raised to t z bar. So what I do is I just multiply to each component. So we can write t square sin t times I bar plus e raised to t times sin t into z bar. This way we can write it down. Correct. This way we can write it down. Okay. So you can see here that whenever we are taking the derivative of this, d dt of this, okay, so it is like d dt of su bar. Okay. What will be derivative of this? So it is, you take component wise derivative. So d dt of t square sin t. So it is my product rule here. Here also I'll take d dt of t e raised to t sin t. Correct. E raised to t times sin t. So instead of doing this, I can use the product rule. I can use the product rule the way we are using it for dot and cross product. So here it is what I'll do is, instead of doing this, I can write ds by dt times u bar plus s times du bar by dt. Correct? So you just take du bar by dt. Du bar by dt is what? Du bar by dt in this case is 2t I bar plus e raised to t z bar. Correct? And what I have ds by dt? I have ds by dt as cos t. So what is the answer? The answer, he says that instead of doing that product, what you can do is you can use this. So it is sin t, cos t times u bar is what? T square I bar plus e raised to t z bar plus s times, that is sin t times, you just multiply this, 2t I bar plus e raised to t z bar. Now take component wise addition, what you will get? It is t square cos t plus 2t sin t, correct, times I bar. I am taking 2t sin t here. And what is coefficient of z bar? Z bar is cos t, e raised to t cos t, correct, and here e raised to t sin t. See, if I add it, you will get the same answer. So it gives me that you can use this thing. Okay. So instead of multiplying this and take the derivative, you can use this result. And that will give you the same answer. That is our sixth rule. Now, see, we cannot divide two vectors, but I can divide definitely a vector by a scalar function. So here you can see that you can define u bar by s, correct? You can define u bar by s. How you write u bar upon s as? It is going to be t square I bar plus e raised to t z bar divided by sin t, correct? So you can write it down the same term as what? T square upon sin t times I bar plus e raised to t upon sin t times z bar. Correct. So here what I have to do is I have to use the quotient rule because it's a function of t. When you take a derivative with respect to t, I have to use their quotient rule. Same quotient rule you will apply it here directly. Okay. So I just write it down. That is our seventh result. So we just write it down. d dt of u bar upon s. So here you use the quotient rule. So that is n dash t. So du bar by dt times s minus derivative of denominator into numerator as it is divided by s square. Correct? Divided by s square. So you have to use this. Yes. So this is our usual quotient rule, which you have learnt earlier in your derivatives. You take derivative of numerator into denominator minus derivative of denominator into numerator divided by denominator square. Divided by denominator square. Now along with this, you just add one more result, that is cos theta apart from this derivative. This is different one. So cos theta, from the dot product formula, you can find it out angle between any two vectors if the angle is not given, and if the vectors are provided, then we can find it out this by using the dot product formula. So it is a bar dot b bar divided by magnitude of a bar into magnitude of b bar. Okay, divided by magnitude of a bar into magnitude of b bar. Okay. So cos theta is given like this. Okay.